But they were both born down toward Florine, down Carmel.
I used to know where Grandpa and Grandma Lockwood lived. Just before you got to Mount Carmel, they lived in a house on the right.
Yeah, yeah.
And Younger used to tell about, and Papa and Mama kind of broke up or something one time, and he passed by there singing this love song to her, you know. Younger used to tell that. He said, I guess they got back together because they married and had 13 children.
Yeah, they were pretty well connected.
And I don't think it was too long then before Uncle Chris and Aunt Donnie got married.
She was the only sister that Grandma had?
No, she had Lizzie Oxley. That's who I'm named after.
Oh yeah, Aunt Lizzie.
Her name was Nancy Elizabeth. Pretty name. But they called her Lizzie. And I asked Mama one time, I didn't like my name, and I asked her, I said, why did you name me Lizzie Belle? And she said, well, I named you after my two sisters, Donnie Belle and Lizzie Oxley.
Oh, Aunt Donnie.
Donnie
Belle.
Donnie Belle was her name.
You don't think none of Lizzie's kids are living?
Etna used to run into a certain one of Aunt Lizzie's boys. Every now and then she'd run into him and they'd talk.
Yeah.
I don't know how many children Aunt Lizzie had.
But Grandma was so close to Aunt Donnie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When we moved up here, her and Uncle Chris was living across the road from Glenn and John David in that big old house, you know. And nothing to do, Mama, but to stop, you know, and speak to Aunt Donnie before we went on down to the Parker place. Oh yeah, I remember the day we moved. We stopped there at the old Miller place. There was a little old shallow pond on the side of the road, and Papa watered the horses, and we ate our lunch.
You took your lunch with you?
Yeah, we took our lunch. I think we moved what we had on 2 wagons. I think it was 2 wagons. It was all of us except Elliot. He stayed down there. He was 18 years old, and he was working at that old quarry.
Yeah.
And he stayed down there a while.
Yeah. And then it wasn't too long that Aunt Etna got married.
She got married. We moved up here in January, and she got married in December, that following December. I remember that night. Howard and one of his sisters, I know. I don't know which one. They've come
to the Parker place.
To the Parker place. And I don't remember who married them.
I know Brother Oliver Roberts married Mom and Daddy, and Mr. Walter Russell was a witness.
Oh. Well, I remember when your mama got married, Rufus. I remember when they got married. And I think Mr. Wilson married Thelma and Curtis.
Who married you and Uncle Johnny?
Brother Kennedy.
Oh, yes.
Cecil Kennedy. He was pastor at our church a long time.
He'd come up on Saturday night, wouldn't he?
Yeah, stay all night with us. And
hitchhike.
Yeah. Hitchhiked back home the next day. And we'd walk from the Parker place up to Friendship, you know, to church. And he was a big buttermilk drinker. He loved buttermilk. Mama said she'd lose seed when he'd come.
Yeah. Lose her starter.
Poor old preachers had it hard back then.
Yes. So somebody'd give him a chicken, he'd go off with the chicken under his arm.
He didn't get no money.
No, nobody had any money.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, but,
It got a little better later on.
yeah.
He married me.
Well, tell us about when you and Uncle Johnny got married.
Oh,
That was at the Parker place.
yeah, that was on Saturday.
It was.
Saturday evening about 6 o'clock. And I was so silly, I didn't want nobody to know it, you know. Miss Lola come to see us that day and I didn't even tell her it was gonna get married.
Well,
That's
And,
okay.
But I remember, it was a song, or Doris mainly was the one. Grandma Gray, may I go out and play? No, today's your sister's wedding day.
oh,
She said that to me all day long.
Did somebody sing?
No,
No.
no. It just, in the left end, first end of that big old house.
Yeah.
It was two big rooms on each end, you know, with a fireplace.
Uh-huh.
Both of them had fireplaces.
Yes, I
And
remember.
we married in that room. We
Yeah.
started to marry there in the hall, but we married there in that room.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, Doris and her boyfriend, she had a boyfriend, you know, that CC camp was up there.
Uh-huh.
Sam Street was her boyfriend, and her and Sam and Younger was the witnesses.
Oh. Well.
And we went up to Friendship Church that night, and Hester was sweeping, dust was inch thick on the floor, and she was sweeping that floor. She thought we was gonna get married up there. She had got wind some way that we was gonna get married. She thought we was gonna get married up there.
And Saturday night you went on to church.
Yeah, we went on to church that night. And then, Oleg and Reese lived down there in that big old Pearly Sal's house, we called it.
Yes, I remember that.
And them and Mr. Carnline had the ice cream made when we got in from church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How sweet. So y'all stayed there
Yeah,
that night?
we stayed there, several nights. Till this little old house, where it was in the woods across over there from, Mr. and Miss Carnline.
Where Jimmy was born? What, didn't Aunt Olivia live there when Jimmy was born?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And, that's where
So
we-
that was your first
that was
house?
our first house,
Yeah. Let's see.
I guess I better get up.
He had bought a
Oh,
bedroom.
no, Uncle Johnny, don't get up.
Figure all of that mess up.
just lie there, relax.